Welcome to Exploration Overland. My name is Zach, and today on How It Works, we're going to be talking about this little device right here. Stay tuned, guys. Okay, you guys have heard me talk about this device on the channel several different times throughout the course of this year, and since I attained this device. What is this device? This is a Zoleo device. No, it is not a sponsor of the channel. This is a How It Works video. Like most of the things on How It Works, it is not a sponsor of the channel. It is something I use on my trips every time, and it is now to the point where I have used this enough times that I feel comfortable with telling you guys, how does this work? And for many people, they want some way of having communication out on the trail in the middle of nowhere where there is zero service, but they don't want to have a Starlink system because that is very expensive. And what is the best option out there for that is this. Now, the Zoleo is a satellite communication device that you can, when you're in the middle of nowhere, out on the trail, wherever you are, and you have no service and your phone doesn't work, you can turn this on. It will hook up to the Iridium satellites, and it will allow you to communicate with other people that you know, as long as they have the app. And you can let them know where you are, what's going on. If you need to contact emergency services, you have the ability to, or if you have friends in other places and they know you're on the trail and you're trying to get updates on things that are either happening somewhere else in the world or on the trail, you can find out. It is basically a way of having a text message service in the middle of nowhere without having any service or signal whatsoever. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a ton of different satellite communicators. You have the Garmin InReach, not a sponsor of the channel. You have other Garmin products. You also have some Samsung products that are out there. Once again, none of which are a sponsor of this channel. But what I use is the Zoleo. And the reason I chose Zoleo, one, they have become very well known over the past couple of years on being actually very reliable, and their services work really well. Two, it is actually you have to have a service plan for it. It's kind of like a phone. You have a service plan, you can choose what it is, but they have some really good flexibility on the service plans, and it is really simple to change what plan you have based off of your needs, and you can also pause your plan if you are not using the device all the time without having to cancel it all, lose all your information, and then have to go through the process again. So let's get down into the little nitty-gritty bits about this device right here. So as you guys can tell, I am out in the middle of nowhere for the most part. And I say for the most part because, yes, this is like a designated camp spot that I've pulled off to, so I'm not on the trail. I'm out of the way. It's a little more quiet, but this is a really open, big, huge space. And though I'm in the middle of nowhere, there isn't a town near me for at least a half an hour to an hour. I still have a little bit of service. Thing about trying to get off the grid here in Colorado, unless you go deep into the mountains, you don't really get off the grid anymore, which is okay. But for the purpose of this video, we're in the middle of nowhere. So how does this little device work? It is so simple, guys. It's ridiculous. Now we're going to go through how this works. We'll jump over to the phone. I will show you how things work on the phone. Then we'll jump back and I will describe some of the service plans and things like that, because we'll jump to a computer and things of that nature. It's going to be a lot of jumping around. Stick with me. So how does this little device work? What this does is, when you go out into the middle of nowhere and you are out hiking, off-roading, overlanding, whatever it is, you have the ability to connect to the satellites. Now, when you go to connect to the satellites, it's really, really simple. This will show you, there's this little button right here. It is the power button. I'm hoping it will focus in on this. Hang on. Okay, it's not focusing. We'll get there. This is the power button. I'm going to turn it on. That beep right there is the sound of it turning on. Here shortly, it is going to start searching for the satellite services. Now, in order for this to do this, though I am standing in the shade, this will actually find it here. You need more of a clear shot to the sky. Like, this needs to have the ability to have some kind of, if you can't see the sky, more than likely this isn't going to find what you're hoping for. It does need a little bit of open space. Typically, most campsites, you're gonna have it. In the whole time I've had this, I've only had it once, where I was literally in the proverbial dead zone of everything. This could not find satellite, our phones could not find satellite, nothing. So I was in a dead spot. That was that beautiful campsite in the Ozarks I was in. It was the dead zone of all. But this is turned on, and it's going to start looking for the satellites. Now, it doesn't typically tell you when it has found satellite. Like, it's not going to give a little signal or anything like that. You normally figure it out on your phone. And generally, it doesn't take it more than 30 seconds to find the satellites. And I say typically because I've had some times where you gotta do a little walking around sometimes to find that signal that's strong. But it will find the signal. Then you'll flip over to your phone, which we'll do here in just a second, and you'll open the app and you can do all sorts of things through the app. So let's jump over to the phone. Okay guys, here we are at the phone. This is my home screen, don't mind everything that's on there. We're gonna come right down here and we're gonna click on the Zoleo app. It is this white little app that looks like a planet, honestly. And when you open it up, this is what it's gonna look like. You're going to have your service right down here. It's going to tell you how strong your signal is, when the last time it checked for an update, when the next message update check is going to be, and your battery percentage. Now, one thing to note with this thing isn't like texting where the messages go instantly back and forth. It will send out your message, but you're not going to get a response right away. This will start checking for messages every so many minutes. Mine, it checks for messages about every 5 to 6 minutes. It will check for a new message. But once we get in here, you have the ability to do all sorts of things. So if I was to click on Lindsay here, who is my main contact for most things, we will go in here, and as you can see, I have some messages in here that say, I made it to camp, blah, 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 and then you see some coordinates. It's really simple. So if I go down to where it says type a message, and if you click on the little map dot, like it's telling you this is where you are, this will automatically pull your coordinates for where you are, and then you can type in your message you want and press send. This will then give the person that receives this the ability to click it within the app. So if I was to delete that out and I clicked on an old GPS coordinate, if Lindsay were to have clicked that coordinate, it is going to send her a GPS point of where I am at that time. Now this, I do believe, is somewhere in Moab, but yep, it's somewhere, yep, Moab. But it sends her the exact point of where I am at that time, which is awesome. And then you can see there's messages, if there was updates, and all. Also, within the app yourself, before we get to the settings, down here along the bottom, you will have the weather. This will ask you, hey, do you want to find your current location? And if you say yes, this will then search for the county that you are in and pull up all the weather, kind of like the weather app does, for the hour, the day, what it's supposed to look like, things of that nature, which is really, really helpful for when you're trying to figure out what kind of weather patterns are coming, because sometimes Mother Nature, as we all know, especially with me, doesn't like to play nice. Likes to change her mind. So you have the ability to look, which is great. Next, down at the bottom, you'll see SOS. If you click on SOS, from the app, you can hit send SOS, and you will send out a signal to the search and rescue through the Iridium satellites, and they will pinpoint your location and send out search and rescue for you, because they are assuming you need major help or you're lost or whatnot, and they're going to send the whole 9 yards to come find you. This feature, you can test it out. There is a way now through Zoleo to do a test to make sure it works. Guys, you don't really need to test it, it's going to work. But you can test it out and it will work, and it will send what you need to out whatsoever. And you can do this from the device. When we flip back over to where I am in the middle of nowhere, we will be able to do this through the device itself. But this, you can send that. You can also, if you see that, view my SOS contacts. You can click it and you will see who your SOS contacts are. For instance, I have Lindsay and my dad on here. You can click who that goes to. So not only when you hit the SOS button does it send a signal to search and rescue to go, hey, I need to find help. This also sends a signal, or it sends a message to whoever's in your contacts for the SOS that you are in trouble and you need help. They're going to get your coordinates. They're also going to, basically in a sense get sort of updates of what's kind of going on, and it's not going to stop telling them that you're in trouble until that signal is, the SOS feature has been turned off. They're going to constantly be alerted that you need help, and it's going to constantly keep giving them pinpoints of where you are in case you are moving around or whatnot. But that is, one of the great features of the Zoleo. Now, over here into the settings, you will have the ability to check out your Zoleo account, which you can adjust certain things. You have your phone number that it gets connected to. You can click on your Zoleo account, which gives you information on your account, things like that, your phone number, all those things. You have app notifications. So basically you have the ability to set whether there's a notification tone. Do you want the Zoleo device to make a noise? Do you want your phone to tell you? All that. You have the language about the app. And then you have the follow me messaging. What does that mean? You have follow me messaging. Basically what that means is if you know somebody else with another Zoleo account, like a Zoleo device, you can send them your information, because your Zoleo does get its own specific phone number. You can send that information out, and you have the ability to communicate a little bit quicker from Zoleo to Zoleo if you need help, things of that nature. Then you have check-in, location, and SOS features. Managing your contacts, you have to add people into this. We'll get to this here in a second, but when someone wants into your, you want to add a contact, they have to have the Zoleo app. The app is free, but they have to have it. Check-in settings is basically, there is a button. When we flip back, I'll show you. You can click it and it will just automatically send whoever's in your account for check-in settings your location and a brief message that basically says, I'm okay, this is my location. You have location share, which is very new. Basically, it's kind of the same thing. It will just, if you leave it on, it is just every hour going to send like a pinpoint of where you were and build a track for where you have been. And then manage offline maps. You have the ability to download an area, download a map, things of that nature. It's more for the person that is receiving the messages, so they can download where you are onto their phone, so that they don't have issues trying to find you if you're trying to be found. Okay, now that we've checked out the phone, let's jump back over to where I am in the middle of nowhere. Pretty cool, right? It's super simple. It is literally just like a messaging app in your phone. You open it up, you have the ability to message people. Now, as I said when we were on my phone, to message people, they have to have the app as well. The app is free. Literally, they are just going to download the app, create an account, because it is completely free, and then you're going to be able to send them a message through the Zoleo account that basically connects them so that they have the ability to message you. So basically, as long as they have the app, they have the ability to message you, and you have the ability to message them. If they do not, you are literally going to click on the contacts, and you're going to, in a sense, add a contact. You're going to choose whoever it is, and when you click on it, it's going to send them either an email or a text message, you get to choose, with a link for them to download the app and register. And once they do all that, it will automatically pair them, basically put you in their contacts, and you get put, and they get put into your contacts. And I gotta fly by the camera, go away, fly. But that is what's going to basically happen. You get to do it that way, and then they are kind of locked in there, so you can always message them. Now, some of the features on this little handheld device are this. And I'm hoping this is gonna work, boy, guys, I really do. Okay, here on the device, we have the charge port. This is nice and covered up, it becomes waterproof, but this is where you will charge your device, which is very easy, very capable. It comes with a charge cable that, if we flip it around, here's that power button I was talking about earlier. When it wouldn't go into focus, you just hold this. Holding it, you'll hear the noise once it comes on, that it is on. When you go to turn off your Zoleo, you're just going to click it. And then you're going to hear that noise again that basically is telling you goodbye, we've had enough. Now if I flip over the device here. Alright, now that we flipped over the device, here is that SOS button I was talking about. It is a nice red button. It has a nice hard cover. That one is waterproof, but two is over top of it, so you can't accidentally hit it. Hitting this button is going to do, like I said on the phone, it is going to send that message to search and rescue, basically saying you need help and are hurt or whatnot, and they're going to send people after you. Now when you do that, this has to stay on because they're going to, one, this will keep reporting where your location is to them, but if you don't, they're only going to have your last known location, and that's all they're going to be able to do to try and find you, and hopefully you stayed in that spot. If you leave it on, they can message you, and if you can talk to them back, great. And if not, they're not going to continuously get an update of your location. They're just going to have what their last location was, and they cannot contact you. They can actually text you, search and rescue can, through the app to make sure you're okay and to keep, talking to you if it is needed. A few other things on here. So once you hit SOS, this is going to flash red. This just keeps flashing because it's gone into SOS mode, and the rest of this will sort of flash. I'm fighting with Mother Nature here. Next, when you get a message, this is going to flash and indicate that you have a message on your phone to check. Basically, you received a message or an update, something. This is going to flash blue to tell you, hey, check your phone. It also will kind of beep at you to remind you to check it. This flashes green when you send off the check-in notification to your person and they get the message. It is basically indicating, hey, it's checking in. Now, if the Zoleo cannot find, and this is the check-in button. You can see there's a little check on it. You hold it, click it once, it sends it automatically that way instead of you sending it through the app on the phone. Now, when this thing is searching for satellite, it doesn't beep at you when it finds satellite like I told you. However, if it doesn't find satellite, all these will flash blue. It'll just constantly flash in a nice circle, and it will beep telling you that it's not finding service, and you have to check your phone and try and figure out either if there's an issue like it didn't connect right, or if you don't have signal. It will tell you all there, which is very helpful, but you just kind of have to pay attention to this. The nice thing about the Zoleo device, guys, it's really dummy proof. It will beep at you when it can't find satellite. It beeps at you when you have a message. Search and rescue, this thing likes to beep at you. If you do it, if you do a test on it, you'll see what it does. When you send the check-in, it beeps at you that it sent it. It beeps at you when it has completely sent. So it's a very dummy-proof device, guys, and it works really, really well. And like I've said, I've had no issue with this Zoleo unit whatsoever at getting signal. Now, I've only had the one time, and I literally was in that proverbial dead zone where there was just no satellite. If I would have walked probably, I don't know, a mile down the road, I would have had signal just fine. But where I was, I didn't have any signal, even with a clear view to the sky. It happens. But for the most part, anywhere you go, you're going to have the ability to connect. The other nice thing about this device is you can use this worldwide. So if you go backpacking in Europe, if you go off into the outbacks of Australia, you go deep into the heart of Africa, this has coverage all over. Your plan that you select isn't just like United States based, this is worldwide based. So this can go with you anywhere, and you have the ability to contact anyone, as long as you can connect to them, in the world that's in your contacts. Wherever you go, this can go with you. It is like the all-inclusive, go-as-you-please kind of device, which is really cool. Now, I've been talking about plans. What is this plan? What is this? What is that? Because it's like a phone plan. We're going to go over to the computer, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about.
All right, everybody. So here is the Zoleo home page. This is Zoleo.com, and here, this is where you can find the products. If you wanted to buy it from Zoleo itself, you will find your monthly plans, the coverages, community business, and here is actually where you would log into your account. No, I'm not going to show you what it looks like when you log into your account because it is full of personal information, and honestly, you guys wouldn't see anything because I would blur it all out. But The main purpose of why we are here is to look at the monthly plans, because I've already told you guys what the coverage is in the community and things of that nature. So let's look at what the monthly plans are when you are thinking of getting a Zoleo. And here is what the plans look like. As I told you guys, there are a few tiers here. You have your basic, your in touch, and your unlimited tier. And they are kind of like a phone plan. They are a monthly plan. I do believe there is a way that you can pay for the entire year up front, but you do get to pay a monthly plan, and they range varying in what they accommodate. And as you guys can see here, the basic plan is only $20. You only get 25 messages, and the messages also include, this applies to incoming messages and outgoing messages. So when you text somebody and if they text you back, that is considered 2 messages. So if you are looking at the basic plan, you only get 25. After that, it's 50 cents each a message. You have unlimited satellite check-ins, basically meaning if you press that little check button on the device itself and it sends that message, those messages that it sends to your people in your check-in comments or in your check-in contacts are free. It's unlimited. You have unlimited for that. And then you have unlimited cellular or Wi-Fi messages. This basically means that you can use the app and it doesn't charge you anything as long as it is through basically your phone's coverage or through a Wi-Fi service. As long as you don't turn on the Zoleo itself and let it connect to the satellites, you can text unlimitedly through the app itself. But the second that you turn on the transmitter and connect to the Iridian satellites, you then have to be mindful, because if you're on the basic plan, you only have 25 messages. But as you can see here, as you scroll down, all these are included with the plan. In touch, you get 250 messages a month. This gives you a little bit more freedom to text back and forth with people, especially if you are someone that is out in the middle of nowhere and needs help, or if you are somebody that believes they need to be connected with the world at all times. This is a little more helpful. And then the unlimited plan is unlimited, obviously. It means you have unlimited messaging no matter what. It doesn't matter how much you send, how much you communicate. Just remember, guys, Zoleo is text message only. You can't make phone calls. It is just a text service. And for the unlimited plan, like I said, unlimited. There are a few different things, such as the location share. It's a $6 extra subscription piece. You guys can read what it says there. I personally do not have it, just because I never see myself in the situation where I need it. But this is what the plans look like, guys, and they are very straightforward. It is very easy to choose one plan and later on choose a different plan. It's not difficult whatsoever. There's no penalty for changing your plan, and it will adjust itself for the next month. So if you normally have 250 messages, you do the in-touch plan, and you're about to do a super long expedition, you might need to switch over to the unlimited plan so you can text as much as you want to if you need it. And it's not hard to do. You're just going to pay that extra bit. Once your adventure's done, you can change the plan over. Also, in your account, you have the ability to suspend or pause your payment method. If you're not going to be using your device for a while, you can click suspend. There's no penalty. It just suspends everything, saves all your information, and when you are ready to use it again, you just, re-choose the plan that you want, resume it, and then you are good to go. And this prevents you from having to start the process over, get all new information. It just keeps your stuff the same.
It's really simple, guys. It's that easy. I told you, Zoleo makes this dummy proof. Between being able to pause your plan, choose what you need, and the fact this works worldwide, guys, it is awesome. And this is a new tool that I've had since the end of last year that I don't leave home without. I never go out on the trails, out hiking. I don't leave home without this if I know I'm going to be going someplace where I could possibly lose signal. It just is so helpful, guys. But I hope you guys found this helpful and informational. A link in the description and in my link tree will take you to the Zoleo website and you can check it out for yourselves. Like I said, guys, they're not a sponsor of the channel. I'm doing this because I like this product and it works. So go check them out if you'd like to. Once again, it's a tool I always use. But thank you all for joining me on how it works today, and I will see you all next time. Take care.